are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Prime Time, featuring Joe C.
I would clean that bone about as good as anything.
Matt Hayes.
The guys they had last year, terrible.
And Leon Searcy.
Mama know that when you get to camp, you ain't gonna see a lot of Big Daddy.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Big Daddy and Joe C. ready to roll on the day before Independence Day, July 3rd. Welcome in. Matt Hayes on vacation, enjoying some time off. And we know there are plenty of you out there that are trying to knock off and get everything done and then start steering it towards fireworks and barbecue. Is this one of your favorite holidays, Big?
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fireworks, the barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
The family.
Yeah, that's true. You've been known, though, to go downtown.
The aunties. Yeah, aunties. I'm gonna stay and chill this time.
Okay.
Yeah, because I usually go down to Orlando.
Right.
Auntie always got a plate for me. She said, "Baby, I got something for you if you're coming now."
Yeah. Now, what is her? I know she's got killer Thanksgiving meals and Christmas meals.
Yeah.
But what is her 4th of July setup?
Usually, her 4th of July setup is leg quarters, potato salad, cold salad, dogs, burgers. She'll cook some ribs.
Oh, my God.
So she gets down now. She don't play. Now,
my
she's probably,
gosh.
at 4th of July is tomorrow, so she's been cooking now 2 days.
I don't doubt
Promise
it.
you, she's been cooking now 2 days because she bakes cakes and pies and all the other kind of stuff. You would think she was feeding the army.
Yeah. But you know what? If you come in and eat like you're an army, she's got to be ready for that. Okay?
Oh,
She's
yeah.
got to be ready. All right. So 4th of July is on the brain, and so we'll have a little fun with that. What are your 4th of July plans, your festivities? You got your long weekend. It will go from Friday all day into the weekend. So what's your favorite 4th of July food? What's your go-to when it comes to just going out and hanging out, partying? Is it the beach? Where is it going to be? Are you all about the fireworks? I'm looking at some of these numbers, Big, and they said that 72 million people will travel for the 4th of July. Now, we had Matt's on vacation, so I guess he counts. We had Coach Campo making his way to Dallas. We had Coach Gerald Ingram saying he was heading up to Ohio. And I'm sure there are plenty of people coming in. We got across the street neighbor Bobby coming in that's set up and hanging out. Big Vic went to Louisiana. So anyway, 72 million.
That's a lot of travelers.
Yes.
That might be, I'm saying third best probably.
Yeah.
Because, you think Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Those are the two.
Yeah, those are the two. So 72, that's impressive.
So this kind of blows my mind as well. It's projected just for food. This ain't for fireworks. $8.9 billion is your grocery bill for America to celebrate Independence Day for the holiday.
$8.5 billion?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Goodness gracious.
They say the hot dogs, which is, of course, we all know, that's Coney Island hot dog eating contest. Hot dogs are the staple. They say 150 million dogs will be consumed on the 4th of July.
Well, when I came in office today, I was pleasantly surprised to see some hot dogs and hamburgers.
Oh, yes.
And that quickly grabbed me, too.
Now, RJ, who's sitting in with us, JJ will be in a little bit later on. We need to give a round of applause to young Max, to the Max, I call him, because Max was the griller today.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. And
Nice.
so he's the
Appreciate
one,
you, Max.
Yeah. So he got out there on the grill and cheeseburgers and hot dogs and plenty of other things. They got cupcakes and all sorts of snacks and everything in there. So thanks to Steve, our GM, for setting it up where he made sure everyone had a good
Absolutely.
the build up to the 4th of July. So yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of little company picnics going on. So 1010XL was happy to do it as well. So let us know kind of your either your 4th of July setup, whether it's beach, whether it's home, whatever, it's ribs like Big Sirs is talking. So one of the son-in-laws that lives here, Annie and Jordan live here, they've got some of their best friends coming in from Orlando. And it just so happens that one like Annie's, one of her really good friends, is pregnant, and she is a vegetarian as a rule. She's a vegan. But now that she's pregnant, she's craving ribs. And so Jordan is tasked with smoking up some ribs for her. So I think it's classic. I said, we need to turn her right now. Okay.
Yeah.
We
Convert her right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Intervention.
Let's just convert her right now.
Yes,
Let's
absolutely.
move her from a vegan to the PETA family, people who eat tasty animals. And so he's trying to make sure that he's got his rib recipe all set to go. And so there's all sorts of different, I would think, plans and kind of go-to meals that you guys can let us know. 641-1010. Hit the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can jump in the YouTube chat as well. We'll definitely talk some 4th of July. Fireworks, too, okay? I would like for you guys to give us, if you don't mind, just kind of give us a little bit of a ballpark dollar figure if you are one of those that loves to go out and buy the fireworks. Because JJ, heir to the throne, one of our neighbors, he would go out and just he'd throw a few Benjamins out there to get him a nice setup of fireworks.
So you look like the mischievous type of kid back in the day. What was your firework of choice?
Bottle rockets.
Bottle rockets.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
The M80s and the bottle rockets, we loved them. And there was a time back in the AUG when you could get away with such things where you might even been riding around and you could just shoot bottle rockets off, and we would have a blast.
Well, I like the ones where you throw and the smoke comes out of them.
Yeah.
What are those called?
Those are cherry bombs.
Cherry
probably.
bombs.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Those
Now,
are
we
ones
used
I
to
like.
have little firecracker fights when we were kids
Mm-hmm.
where you could light it, run, and throw it. You would have enough time.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those before.
Yeah. Where you're just trying to light another guy up, and we were dumb. Okay, we weren't the smartest bunch, but we would do stuff.
But you
like
still
that.
lived, right?
Oh,
that
yeah.
was fun.
Yeah,
It was fun. Just like climbing the trees fun. You failed, but guess what? You survived.
Exactly. There were times when we thought we had broke, like my brother, we thought he broke his back, and because he fell out of the tree, and my grandmother ran out there and basically pounded on his chest to make sure he was still breathing.
Wow.
To where he didn't have a back problem anymore. Now he had bruised ribs from her beating on him. So as a kid, we would have, like, you grow up with all the fireworks back then, you couldn't get your hands on them like you can now.
I know.
And so it was, you had to go up to South Carolina or whatever.
You had to go in the corridor in dark alleys to get fireworks back in the day. You know, I mean, the really good ones.
Yes.
You know, now they're just out there. You know, they got street vendors out there selling them by the dozens, by the tens of dozens.
Yeah, because you'd have to go up to South Carolina, and they would have the ones that you could get that were high powered, and you'd have fun with. And then we had one neighborhood. This is when we were one of our first houses, and I called it the United Nations neighborhood because we had everybody represented, everybody from all walks of life, and we had a couple deputies, including one of my cousin's husband. And so just so happened they might have confiscated some fireworks, some of those illegal fireworks we're talking about. Well, anyway, they would get, I don't know if I think we've reached the statute of limitations. Hopefully.
Of course you have, yes.
St. John's Finest is not listening. Mr. Beaver and Mr. Hardwick and all those guys. Hopefully you're not listening right now. But anyway, we took 4x8 sheets of plywood and we set up a fuse runner, where we would put the fireworks on the 4x8 sheet of plywood. And then once you lit it, it would set off one firework and the fuse would keep going. Next firework. We had our own little mini.
That sounds military, bro.
It was awesome. It was
That's
awesome.
pretty good, though. That's pretty good.
We had 2 sheets of plywood. This is, of course, before you could drop the mortars and they were putting on the full fireworks show. So anyway, if you got any of those stories, definitely lean in today and hit the text line 641-1010, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, and give us a little bit of a feel of what you're doing. So it is the 3rd, big, and this is the month that training camp will start. There's only so many Sundays left. I think it's 10 Sundays from this Sunday on before we see real football. And we were talking about some of the numbers in the college football world yesterday, just some of the things that we think Arch Manning can do, some of the other guys, what they think they can do. Well, there's a lot of big names that we can look forward to. And we talked yesterday a little bit about the DJ Lagways, the Arch Mannings, Carson Becks, all the guys right now that we will wait with great anticipation to see what they can do in terms of quarterbacking their teams. DJ Lagway's got a ton of expectations that come with him this year. So does Carson Beck. Carson Beck, in a lot of people's minds, didn't do enough to keep Georgia rolling in the right direction. At least that's what probably a lot of Bulldog Nation thinks right now. But are they among the best players in the country? Heck yes. Heck yes. But how good can they be this year? We were looking at a top 50 ranking from PFF of the best players in college football. When it's all said and done, when we've seen 12, 13 games played, will those 2 guys be among the top 10 players in the country?
Well, you hope so.
Yeah.
If Florida and Miami want to go where they want to go, the quarterback play has got to be pivotal. Absolutely. So how they play, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you need run game and defense and all that kind of stuff. But if you want a chance to win a championship, you got to have good quarterback play.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And when you're talking about DJ Lagway, at the very least, what he was able to do last year, they were unbeaten when he was under center.
Mm-hmm.
When he was not, or when he did not play an entire game, they were 2-5. So that's a big, big difference when you're talking about a football team that wants to go in the right direction. And if he's leading, and they were 6-0 with him under center or in the shotgun, they want to see more of that. They don't want to see that 2-5 record. And Billy Napier comes into this year. There's a good piece that was written about whether or not he can turn the corner or not this year. He's 19-19, bro. He is 500, and he was not in a good situation. We all know that, with the 1-2 start that he had, with the record that he had against other Power 4 schools going into last year, but finished strong with a nice little win streak to wrap up the regular season, and now 19-19.
Well, I mean, I hate it when people say that you can carry over from last season and it can propel you into this season.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. And not really, because if I'm Billy Napier, if I'm telling the Florida Gators, I'm going to say, hey, listen, what was y'all record? Y'all were 8 and did y'all win 8 or 9 games?
Yeah, it was a 8-win season.
Okay, 8-win season, it's, but 8-win seasons should not be the benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
So I would tell all the guys, hey, listen, last year was last year. 8 games is not enough. That's what Jimmy used to do to us, even when we won championships. Yeah. Okay, what have you done for me lately? That championship's gone. Take the ring off. I don't want to see you wear those jackets. Take those shirts off. That season's over with. What are you prepared to do this year to make sure that we go back again and again and again? And that's what any coach. You don't want your team to become complacent with 8 wins. Mm-hmm. Even when we talked to the head coach at Syracuse, he said we won 8 games. What does that mean?
Yeah, Fran Brown.
Yeah, Fran Brown. The goal is not to win 8 games. The goal is to win the championship.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got to have those kind of aspirations. You can't dwell on what you did in the past. You got to put in the work, the time, the effort, the grind for this season. What are you prepared to do during training camp that's going to propel us? Coach Johnson, you always said, he says that he said games are played on Saturday, but you win them in the offseason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You win them in the offseason.
It's hard to believe that you can be in a situation where you don't know what you've got, and then you go into the season, you click off a couple of wins, all of a sudden things come together, and then you realize all that hard work that you put in is paying off. Some of those guys don't quite realize that until a little bit later on.
Bro, I'm sitting in the Orange Bowl after we beat Nebraska 22-0 for a national championship, right? I'm standing in the middle of the 50-yard line. Everything's going on. And I say, is this it? The journey is so much more fulfilling than the actual. Don't get me wrong. We won a national championship. We beat Nebraska. We split it with one. But I'm sitting there, I'm saying, man, I mean, the win was fine, but the journey was so much better. Mm-hmm. It was so much better. The way we had to, we had to grind through it, how we pulled each other during training camp, and how we motivated each other, how we stayed on each other, how we held each other accountable. Went through the injuries and all this kind of stuff, man. The journey is so much more fulfilling.
Yeah, and look, I think one of the best stories I can think of, and you can tell it to us, is what happened in 1996 here in Jacksonville. To understand the journey, to understand it wasn't just what you did at the end. It was how you guys all of a sudden course corrected and took off.
Yeah, it was. I mean, a lot of people, we started the season 3-7, bro. Mm-hmm. Terrible. I had that meeting with Coach Coughlin. He brought me in his office, asked me, Leon, how you think you're playing? I said, I'm playing average, Coach. He said, you're damn right you're playing average. We didn't pay you to play average.
No.
You've got to play better.
Yeah.
And he was right. Sometimes you just need that true serum. A lot of people try to avoid it, but you need the true serum.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And we collectively as a group, this is when a player's only meaning helps. A lot of people like to just do it, just so they can run them out. But we collectively got together and said, listen, if we're going to work as hard as we're working with this man, TC, we might as well win some games, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
You might as well win some games. It's bad enough if the man's going to work you to death and then you lose on top of it.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So that's what we did. We ran, after we went 3-7, we went what? We went down and won 6 of 7 games.
That sounds right.
6 of 7 games, and then we go into Buffalo.
Yeah.
I remember, I always tell the story. We go into Buffalo, the whole offensive line is at this wing place. And we're trying to decipher on how we're going to block this defense and Bruce Smith and all this kind of stuff. And I remember Dave Waddell said, man, the hell with all that. Let's just go punch him in the mouth.
Yeah. And Waddell had that attitude.
Yeah.
Okay. And for Jaguar fans wondering about Dave, he's doing great now. He's definitely going through that scare with diabetes, but he is doing well. But that's that type of guy that you got to believe. No one else is going to believe in you until you believe in yourself and you get the job done. You got to prove it to people.
Facts.
And y'all proved it to Bruce Smith.
We did. Bo did.
Yeah.
Bo worked him.
Yeah, he did.
9 to 5 worked him.
All right, so we got a little Jag talk that we will get into. This is the time of year where they come up with a couple of cool things with the websites that you guys go to, that we go to quite often, and one of them is the best player with each number, 0 to 99. When is Jacksonville going to get one of those numbers? We'll tell you, like if you start thinking of who wears 16, who wears 7, who wears 1, who wears 41, who wears 44, you can think of the bigger names that you have on this football team. We'll go through some of those coming up here in just a bit that you guys can jump in on. But I'm just going to tell you right now, this team got jobbed by not having one of those numbers as the most recognizable guy. We'll tell you who it is coming up in just a bit. It is a beautiful day today, getting ready for the 4th of July. Hopefully the weather will be great. Rebound Rehab, they bring you Thursday's show. And if you are going into the 4th of July a little nicked up, a little banged up, and you need some physical therapy, and it could be from workers' comp, it could be from an auto accident, a sports injury, whatever it might be, they have got 11 locations across the First Coast, and they want you to know about them, where you can get back in the game. Rebound with Rebound Rehab. Make sure you check out reboundrehab.com and see all their locations. It is XL Primetime.
Not just talk.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Jacksonville sports talk.
Starting to get the picture?
1010XL.
Okay, good tip.
Jacksonville is listening.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campion Law.
Big Chief Tire is always looking for ways to better serve the Jacksonville community we call home. Lauren Brooks here. Starting Monday, June 16th, they are opening their 6th shop location in Mandarin, providing more Jacksonville residents with a locally owned auto repair business that they can trust. Visit the new shop on San Jose Boulevard today for all your vehicle needs, including brake repair, new tires, and more. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment today.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Soft takes are boring. That's why I dropped the hammer on the Frangie Show. I'm Hayes Carlion. Listen for Hammer Time with Hayes, weekday afternoons on 1010XL.
Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Kia on Atlantic.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso Spine and Joint Pain Specialists.
Brian Wall here.
Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Registration is now open for the Circle K Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament. With over $450,000 in cash and prizes, fun starts on July 13th with the inaugural Kickoff Beach Tournament that has a $50,000 cash first place prize. There's also a junior offshore tournament and one for the lady anglers. Best of all, the winner of the General Offshore Tournament takes home a Contender 28T with twin Yamaha 200s. Register today at kingfishtournament.com.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is poured at Southern Coast Seafood, now open Mondays. Enjoy craft for $12.99 a pound on Tuesdays. Drink Brackish Wednesdays with $1 oyster on the half shell. Brackish Vodka is the first clean craft vodka made right here in Jacksonville for whatever your sport is. If your sport is crab at Southern Coast, your vodka is Brackish. Southern Coast Seafood, now open Mondays. Brackish Vodka, proud partner of the Jaguars.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Prime Time, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Big Surge pointed out something to me that I'm embarrassed to admit, but I just completely forgot about my with a little Modelo.
There we go.
Yellow. I completely forgot about it. Normally, it's because I'm looking forward to that 3-day weekend. But normally, we do like starting our weekend on Thursday. So, man, I don't want to fail the people out there because they're ready to crack one open.
You got to give the people what they want, bro.
Yeah, exactly. We like whenever we play the ukulele, we have some that light up. But whenever they hear that, they also they pop a top. All right, so we are ready to roll on a Thursday afternoon, the day before Independence Day. I read one of the emails that I get takes you back in the history books, and today, 1775, so 250 years ago, George Washington took over. I think it was called I have to go look, the Colonial Militia, whatever it was called. This was the day that he took over. And we all know what happened after that. And then I keep looking up on the television big, and I think England's just trying to get even with us because they take over our televisions 4th of July week with Wimbledon. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, that's premeditated. You know that.
So they probably picked this week to do that.
Absolutely.
All right, 641-1010. You guys let us know what you're doing as far as the 4th of July goes. You can hit the text line, Design by Lifetime Enclosures, and then jump in the YouTube chat. One of our dudes did say, hey, he says, our backyard, pool party, rain or shine, Traeger smoking, lots of cold beer, and Toby Keith on the radio. Come on out to the West Side, fellas. And listen, West Side is the best side, so we definitely will be with you there. And if RJ will do it for us, we need to get maybe some American type of tunes. RJ, are you into that?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Okay, just kind of celebrate a little America, okay? Do that for us. Maybe some Ray Charles and some of the other great ones that we've heard over the years, but definitely do that. But he also texted in from the West Side. He said, by the way, Leon, you didn't have to kill us Seminole fans with that 2 and 10 Diddy post.
Listen,
what were you up to on social?
Listen, Joe. Remember when you was a kid, when you used to kick over the ant hill?
Yeah.
and someone tells you not to do it, and because that's their home.
Yeah.
And then you go back and you go kick over another anthill. I just had to wake up the Seminole fans. That's all. I had to shake the tree a little bit. They've been dormant. You know, this is the right time of the year. You know, when I want to poke at my rivals. That's all in love.
That wasn't a poke. That was a punch.
No, I'm going to tell you how it happened, bro. It was almost angelic, okay? It was almost angelic.
Almost.
It was. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm sitting at the cigar lounge. I'm smoking my cigars, Big Sirs. Right. And the Diddy trial comes on, right? Mm-hmm. And they're talking and everything like that. And the lady says, you know, he beat the big charges. But the small charges, he could get anywhere between 2 and 10 years. And I just said, 2 and 10? Who do I know that went to? Oh, that was angelic, bro. That fell in my lap.
That was a nuke drop.
It was.
Oh my God.
So it fell in my lap. So I
can't make this up.
Did I say anything that was not factual from last year? You know, and then, you know, all these people get on my page. The Hurricane fans absolutely love it. But then the Florida State fans, they just came at me. What are you talking about? Y'all haven't won an ACC. First of all, let me just tell you the difference between my mindset and Seminole. They're talking about ACC championships and all. So I said, listen, my mindset is championship or bust. That's how I was raised.
Tip top.
Yeah, Miami, championship or bust.
Y'all don't worry about the ACC changes?
I don't. My bar is always high when it comes to my team.
Tip top.
You got to win championships.
Okay.
And then the former Florida State fans want to get on my players.
Yeah.
Want to tip the hat and say, oh, that happened way back. Let me tell you something. Greatness does not have an expiration date. Okay? It does not. It does not have an expiration date.
Now, I got to come in on the other side just because I got to at least gig you just a little bit.
Okay, you did gig me a little bit. That's fine. Go ahead.
Because you don't get to the tip top without winning those conferences.
I'm glad you said that. But guess what? Who won the Big Ten last year?
Well, again.
Wait, no, let me ask you a question. Who won the Big Ten? Oregon, right?
Yeah.
Who won the national championship? You think Ohio State cares about a Big Ten championship when they got the Natty in the house?
It is kind of a brand new world for us to know that we can now have. You had 2 teams that, generally speaking, were conference champions. We even had some really crazy scenarios when Alabama didn't win the conference but still won the national championship. So it definitely happened when you just had 2 teams or when you had 4 teams. But now it's even more possible with a dozen teams that are involved. So it's true.
Absolutely.
Oregon won.
They won the Big Ten.
And you can go and ultimately look down the line and find, I'm sure, more examples in the NFL, wild card teams and that type of stuff winning a Super Bowl when you least expected them. But now, all I'm saying to you is that if you can win a national championship, you need to patrol and rule your conference. Most of the champions are going to have that on the resume.
True, but then guess what Ohio State did? They played Oregon in the Rose Bowl and demolished them.
They beat that butt.
They proved them to be frauds.
Yeah, they did. They really did. And when it mattered most, they beat that butt. And so it is a different world now because of how many because of how many opportunities you have late. The fact that Ohio State could lose to Oregon and Michigan and still win the national championship. It's hard to believe. Their last regular season game they dropped. They weren't in the Big Ten the Big Ten championship game. That was Oregon and Penn State. Oregon beat them by a field goal going back to the setting in Eugene, Oregon. It was a great game. Dan Lanning, masterful with what he did by putting too many guys on the field to get the penalty and burn up the clock, all kinds of stuff. But it's a new world right now.
That Michigan game was their trigger. Because you remember that. You remember that was their trigger when they lost to Michigan at home. What was the talk? The whole talk was about getting rid of the coach and the players are revolted, all this other kind of stuff, whatever. So that was their trigger. That was that was a coaching opportunity to galvanize the troops.
Yeah.
Don't nobody believe in you but what's in this locker room right now. And they came out and they put belt to you know what.
Oh, they did. And it is so funny because when you have that, like you said, that wake-up call or however you want to describe it, and now all of a sudden it's on, and you have that next opportunity. It's so funny. We kind of went over the idea back in '99, the pain of losing to the same team 3 times. Well, that's kind of what you were looking at. We're going to get even. We're going to prove that we belong. Obviously, it didn't go the Jaguars' way, but now the way it's set up in the college world, you can have that second go-around, that second chance to slug it out and maybe even the score.
I try not to be a purist.
Yeah.
But you're going to have teams that in the near future, they're going to lose maybe 2-3 games. I don't think 4. But I'm thinking they're going to lose 2 and 3 games and win natties. You know, I mean, that's I don't have a problem with that. I mean, you know, if you're the hot team down the stretch and you winning football games and you win the natty and you're whatever in 3, you know, I'm just saying my rings don't have that. Don't have 3 losses.
I totally get it. But now I know that, and your resume is as decorated as any in college football, and that was when Miami, the U, had it rolling. But now you can be a 2-loss team, and heck, maybe even a 3-loss team when it's all said and done, because there were 3-loss teams that didn't make it last year that didn't deserve to make it based on what they did, how they screwed things up down the stretch, but still might have had an argument to get back in there and make something happen.
Bro, who wanted to play South Carolina last year down the stretch?
Yeah.
They were hot.
Yeah, they
were.
On
both sides of the ball.
Yeah. And Shane Beamer was right to politic. Now, they didn't belong in the playoff, but they were hot.
They were hot.
And they had a chance to close the deal, couldn't close the deal. And Clemson got hot and got themselves into the college football playoff by being hot at the right time and winning a championship. And so, look, I love gigging you because it is beyond me that Miami has not won an ACC championship.
Yeah, you're right. Halfway.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, more than likely, the pathway to the championship has got to come through the ACC championship. Yeah. But let me just say another quick little thing about a former Florida State player. So get on my page. If you ain't got no ring, don't talk to me. All right. If you ain't got no ring, don't talk to me.
It's a champions only room.
Exactly. Exactly. Champions only room. If you got a national championship, you can mouth all you want. But if you ain't got one, don't get on my page talking about that was a long time ago. It stay in your era. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
You know what I understand about these young cats, man? They think their life that they live here is so much more significant than when we were back then.
Not true.
No, doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, not true. Ruben Bain, by the way, is one of the highly ranked players coming in this year.
Yeah.
Regarded right now, you can take whatever list you want, but 15th right now among the guys to watch in 2020.
Yeah, last year was a down year for him. He was dealing with a calf injury, that could never heal. But listen, that kid right there is a terror. I've been watching him, his film this offseason, the way he works. I mean, he's old school, bro. He's old school. He's an old soul, the way he gets after it. And his work, runs those heels, works his feet, his hands. He's 6'3", 2. He's kind of like Sapp. He's about 6'3", 295, something like that, 85, something. I'm not sure. Maybe a little lighter than that. But he reminds me of Sapp. Sapp wasn't but about 6'3", 285, whatever. But Sapp couldn't play play D tackle. This cat can play all.
He's coming off the edge.
He can come off the edge. He can get interiorly, all that kind of good stuff.
And a little bit like what Dante Fowler was at the University of Florida. It didn't necessarily always translate. He couldn't go inside in the NFL the way he did as a college player. And if Bain can do that, whenever you say Warren Sapp, people immediately picture him in the middle and one strong, active human being.
Yes, strong hands, good leverage, good get off. Finishes, that gives you a litany of moves, anchors himself on the run, can disrupt the run, get tackles for losses, all that kind of stuff. And he can manhandle offensive linemen, interiorly or outside.
Right. And Bain's got that potential.
Yeah, and he flips those hips when he hits that corner like that. Oh, man.
So he's 15th. Jake Slaughter, the center for Florida, is 11th. PFF is putting out their, I guess, the final 10 of their top 50 coming up. But they have Slaughter plugged in as the 11th overall. Pretty dang good ranking. 6'4", 308 pounds. The way he was able to work in the zone blocking scheme, they give him high marks left and right. Ryan Williams from Alabama. What was he, 17 years old last year? And he's among the top 12 players in the country. And there's no reason to think that Ryan Williams, whoever is quarterbacking Alabama, will not be a superstar. If Ty Simpson, whoever can get the ball to him.
He's a stud, bro.
Oh, my God.
He is.
Now, by the way, we mentioned him as a freshman wide receiver last year, and we know the best was Jeremiah Smith.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
But there's another piece out there that says, who has this year's Jeremiah Smith? We'll at least tell you what one publication is saying as to who has this year's Jeremiah Smith. That'll be coming up. Rebound Rehab Thursday. Don't forget, real easy to log on. Find their locations all over the city of Jacksonville. And what they are, they're committed to making you feel better. And I talked to Jimmy Mack, one of my buddies, last night at the Golf Club of Southampton. And listen to this. He's had 4 surgeries on his shoulder. He's got wrist problems. He's got a knee that he still has wrapped and whatnot. Anyway, he's been through the ringer. And old athlete, been through the ringer. And Rebound Rehab's bringing him along. He said he couldn't lift his shoulder forever. Now he's out back playing golf again. So check them out, reboundrehab.com, with physical therapists all over the First Coast ready to help you.
This is your captain speaking. Please return to your seats. We will be experiencing turbulence.
1010XL. Taking turbulence out of the air.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
This is Mike Lynch, PGA Golf Professional. Take it from me. If you're dealing with an orthopedic issue, talk to the doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where you're treated like a pro.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros. Thanks to all of you who have allowed us to be part of your recovery. Call us at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists if you ever have a need.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband and wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at goosehead.com.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 3rd, 1987, Darryl Strawberry threatened his teammate for criticizing his play. Darryl Strawberry is now an ordained minister.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Maxed out on credit card, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Bowden Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Bowden Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Who lit it up last night? Brought to you by American-Electrical.com.
The 20th pitcher in baseball history. The 4th left-handed pitcher.
Freeman does jump on it. Ropes it to right field. It's down. Here comes Ohtani. He's coming home. Where are we going? We're going home.
That was a perfect way to light it up last night. Finish off what Clayton Kershaw started. That was Freddie Freeman with the game winner, bringing Ohtani across the plate. And it was a special night because of what Clayton Kershaw has been able to do. 20th pitcher for 3,000 strikeouts. What an incredible pitcher he has been for the LA Dodgers. He lit it up. There's no doubt about it. American Electrical, they can light up your residential or commercial world, whatever you need. They are there to help you. And if you want to start, well, jumpstart your electrical career. Make sure you check out American-Electrical.com with all that they got going on. They definitely can take care of you. But what a special player that Clayton Kershaw has been. And I love this one post on X from our buddy JP Shadrick with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And JP used to be the play-by-play voice going back to when it was the Jacksonville Suns. And Clayton Kershaw pitched on that mound downtown, at Bragan Field. And we had now Giancarlo, but Mike Stanton. You had so many other great players that came through here. Russell Martin ended up being a great pitcher for the Pirates for a long time, just many others. But Kershaw was on that mound. And so JP put on X last night. Clayton Kershaw, 1 strikeout from 3,000 in his career. This was as the game was unfolding. He said, drop this dude off at the Raleigh-Durham Airport in 2008 in a loaner car when he first got promoted to Major League Baseball. Amazing career. See you in Cooperstown. So JP took him in a loaner in 2008 when he got called up. That's pretty dang good.
That's pretty sweet.
That is pretty awesome. All right, let's say hello to another guy who's pretty awesome right now.
Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Let's talk a little Jaguar ball with one of the Jaguar greats, Donovin Darius, as he joins us now. Out for a little vacation time. Is that right, Double D?
Yeah, just a little bit, man. We got football practice and stuff coming up, near the end of July. So just spend some time up in actually New Jersey, back home.
Okay, very nice, very nice. Where you grew up, might have to ask what kind of fun things you got planned for the 4th of July up there. But we just played. What do you got?
No, so just family, family time, little cookout, here, there, and, enjoy the sun up here. Matter of fact, it was like 105 up here last week. So people was like, man, you brought Florida weather all the way up to Jersey.
It is hot. It's Hades everywhere. That's for sure.
I don't know if the fans have ever seen Double D in person before, but he still looks like he could backpedal and lay the boom on you.
Yeah.
To this day.
You funny.
You could. It's like
I'm not lying, bro. You know I ain't lying, Double D.
Well, we got sometimes listen, you got to be able to show it, you know what I mean, for them to know it. And so you got to be an example a little bit, and sometimes guys be feeling bad for the guys who get a chance I have to demonstrate on. I don't be trying to hurt them, and I don't hurt them, but we just got to focus and show them the technique. You know how that is, sir. So when you did that little 6-inch punch, man, you almost put a hole into my chest.
Yeah, I know, bro. I know. I forget these hands are still registered in the state of Florida, so I have to be careful with it. Double D, it's 2 weeks from camp. Well, as a player, when we were back in the day, what's your mindset as a player knowing, you got to go into training camp? Are you trying to endure training camp, or are you trying to use it as a tool to prepare you for the season?
Well, like you said, I mean, timing-wise, this time right now, after the 4th of July weekend or whatever, it was a special time really to get acclimated, to get prepared for training camp. So back when we were playing, we had a group of guys, me, Kevin Hardy, Cornell Lake, Alvis Whitted, and a bunch of other guys. We would meet up and, at the facility, and we would just get out there in the heat of the day, go through, and really just condition ourselves. So when we got into training camp, from a conditioning standpoint, we were already conditioned and acclimated, because I think a lot of guys, they make a mistake, especially young guys. They think that they just need to come into training camp and get in shape. But if you don't get yourself acclimated, man, it can be it can be a headache and some bad news. And so getting ready, acclimated was number one. But then when it comes to training camp, you basically want to get yourself in the best position you can, because you got to remember this, especially when we play 4 preseason games, we're not playing a whole lot of the game. And so you got to think about it. You go into preseason, and you go into a preseason game, you're only going to play like 10, 15 plays. But again, you're going to be counted on to go out there and play 50, 60, 70 plays. So you got to take training camp as a way to say, you know what, I got to build my body into this machine, put these pads on, which you haven't had in the whole year, and go out there and make sure you're ready from day one, you know what I mean, to give everything you have.
We're talking with Donovin, Darius, one of the Jaguar greats that you see around town doing a lot of good things with his foundation and mentoring youth. What do you think you saw or at least kind of checked in on with the Jaguars offseason as far as this defense is concerned? What type of improvement do you think you're expecting?
Well, you know, again, whenever you bring guys in, there's always high expectation based off of what they did before, whether it's free agents coming in or new acquisitions coming in via the draft and whatnot, or free agency. And so when you bring, you know, everybody is a Super Bowl champ in the spring and in the summer, you know, but it's really about what they do when they get into training camp and how well they communicate, how well they gel together, and how well they execute. And I think that's what you look for when you're looking for a defense. I think a lot of times defenses adjust a lot faster than offenses because there's a lot of calls and blocking schemes and all that stuff. But from our defense, I think we brought in some guys. You know, we got some new guys that can really help us get us over the top, which is really at the end of the day, get off the field on third down, and basically, you know, turn over the ball. And so that's what we're looking for. I think that's what we're going to be able to get this year, and that's what our hopes are.
Now, Dodi, my concern is that there's been an overhaul as far as new players on the roster.
Right.
We're talking about 50 new players on the roster. It feels like the transfer portal.
How many?
About 50, bro. So, I mean, so you got that many new faces. I mean, you know how important continuity is on a roster. How soon can this team come together for that one common purpose, which is winning?
You know, it's interesting because preseason will give you glimpses here and there, but they're really trying to plug and play. But I think it's going to really take for us, I mean, to look at the first 3-4 games of the season, because it's going to take them to be able to slim that roster down. You got 100 guys or whatever in training camp. They're not all going to be here. And so it's going to actually take being realistic to get into those first 3-4 games and see how does the 53 guys we have, how well do they gel together, and who are those guys? Because right now everybody seems like they got an opportunity, but we know at the end of the day, when it's only 53 guys, you know, that's all you got to do. That's all you have to go to war with. And so it's going to be interesting to see how those guys come together. But, again, playmakers make plays, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're looking like they're turning over the roster on the bottom half as much as they can, Donovan. And you need a Josh Hines-Allen to step up and make plays. You need Eric Armstead to step up and make plays. You as a safety by trade, how important is it for that front to get the job done? Because they haven't done enough of that of late.
Well, it's important. I mean, the big guys, they're in the front line for a reason. They are the front line. You know, when you look at military, you know, the Army and the Marines go out there, man, they get on the battlefield, they get right away. And so you need those big guys to be your front line and to create havoc, because the better job they do, the easier it is for the back seven. You know, because now you got clear running lanes. Now you know where to field. Now you know who's going to hold their gap, who's going to keep the ball contained, who's going to force it outside. Because once those guys do their job and really get up the field and may alter, you know, what the plays are, whether it's run or pass, then it allows our job on the back end to be much easier, whether it's passing and rushing the quarterback, you know, getting errant throws, or it's making a running back, you know, bounce outside, go east and west. And so those guys are really, really important because, as you mentioned, last year we needed to do better. And hopefully this year, again, there's a high expectation and those guys may come through to really help. But it all starts up front.
Now, Double D, what would your advice be to Travis Hunter now? I mean, he's in the National Football League right now. He's not going up against his peers anymore. He's going up against grown men on both sides of the ball, whether he's a wide receiver or whether he's a DB. He's going to be going against grown men. What would your advice be to him?
At the end, I would just tell him, you know, just focus on one play at a time. You know, as it comes down to preparation, there's a whole lot that's going to be on him because we haven't seen guys who've come in the league with just as much ammo potential on the offensive side as the defensive side. So I think as a coaching staff, you may have to save him from himself, which means, hey, he may want to do offense. He may want to do defense because that's what a competitor and that's what a dog does. But you actually have to save him from himself, maybe like put him out there on offense and then put him in some, separate defensive packages here, or put him out there in this game on defense and then some packages on offense there. But as it pertains to him preparing, I think he Dion and all them did a good job of setting expectation. But you know how it is. College is so much different, from the league. So I would just make sure he's studying, which I know he probably does, but just make sure he's studying and he's taking care of his body. Because, again, you're not in the league just to make one play. You're in the league to make it a career and a longer experience.
It's funny. We're talking with Donovin Darius, number 20, one of the greats the Jaguars have enjoyed having on their team over the years. And we were comparing him, at least I was, Donovan, a Devonta Smith type of body on the offensive side, a Sauce Gardner type of body on the defensive side. Well, both of those guys have had to endure injuries, but they're asking Travis Hunter potentially to play both of those positions at about the same size. Anyway, Sauce comes out and says that he added muscle to his frame because he needed to get bigger. Honestly, that is such a challenge for these guys size-wise.
No, it is. Well, because, again, you've done what you've done and you played with the weight you had and you've adjusted to it for so long. To add a whole nother level, whether weight, weight is different, because you're used to carrying around, in his case, maybe, I don't know how much he weighs, 185, whatever, 180, 190, whatever. But whatever it is, to add that weight is going to put more strain on his body, and so this is a physical league, and college was what it was. But he's going to see it's a physical league. He's an athletic guy. He puts his body in all these different positions, and so he's going to understand how physical the league is on offense, and he's also going to see how physical he's going to have to be on defense.
Double D, I saw an interview on ESPN, and it was Devonta Smith, and he was talking to Darius Slay. And he said his rookie year, Darius Slay could line up against him and tell him each route he was running based upon his stance. Wow. So as far as Travis Hunter goes, who's going to be that veteran on the offensive side of the field that can work him in his technique, and who's going to be that veteran on the defensive side of the field that's going to get him ready for his challenge against other receivers?
You know what? And like you said, they added 50 new guys, and it's going to be interesting who it may be. I would say any veteran at least has at least 3 years in the league and seen a little bit. And you may never know, because sometimes the best teachers were not always the one that were the best players. Like when I got here, when I got to the Jaguars, I tried to study under Travis Davis and Chris Hudson. They weren't premier guys, but they were, for their size, 5'8", 5'9", they were, pretty solid, and they were starters. And so I would learn under those guys. And then the next year when they brought in Cardinal Lake, I tried to learn from him. And so, it's going to be one of those things that he's going to be able to – the teachers will teach, right? They say the student was, the teacher will appear when the student is ready. And so I just think that whoever they have on the roster, whether it's a guy we know right now, whether a guy who's played last year or really didn't play a lot in the league, if he's a teacher, because you always have those guys, they're going to want to teach you. They're going to want to help you succeed. And so I don't know who those guys will be exactly, but hopefully those guys appear, because, again, there's going to be a lot on his shoulders that he's going to, there's expectations for him this year.
All right, so before we turn you loose, we know that we aren't that far away from training camp, but to leave Jaguar fans with a little bit of a mindset, just as far as if you have had any interactions with any of the coaching staff or the players that are here now that you think that they can kind of look forward to for training camp, whether or not you think they're going to be able to turn this thing around quickly.
No, I think they will. We had a chance to meet with the rookies back a couple, month or so ago, and just really sit down with them, Fred Taylor and a lot of the guys that are the legends, Jaguar legends, and just kind of sit down and pick their brain and just let them know a little bit about what to expect. That's one. And then the other thing is, we just see guys all around town at different times, and we just, we're always encouraging them. I mean, Leon will tell you, man, we want success for this team. We don't want to keep talking about the Jaguars of the 90s. You know what I'm saying? We want that success to be now. And so But we know at the end of the day, I've never seen a coach make a play, and I've never seen a former player make a play. So it's going to have to be these guys that become professional as fast as they can, you know what I mean, together to go out there and produce what it is that we need around Jacksonville to try to bring a championship home.
Yeah, they need it. They need it. That's for sure. All right, Double D, enjoy your time up there in Jersey. Happy 4th, bro.
Hey, man, you too, fellas.
All right,
talk to you later.
Double D.
Yep. It's definitely one of the, like, talking about a guy that if he saw someone coming across the middle, he wanted to unload on him. That's what Travis Hunter's going to have to deal with. That's what he's going to have to
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
There will be safeties out there patrolling. That's for sure. All right, we head into the 3 o'clock hour. I got a couple as far as the barbecue is concerned that I want to read to you guys coming up here in just a second, but I'm also laughing. This was one about the Noles, 2-12 in the last 14 after that loss to Alabama. That's coming up. Get ready for it, Noles. So there's a little trash talk against the Noles. And then another one says, love Big Sirs, but, man, the last time the U won anything was around World War II. Happy 4th. All right, so we'll just use that as a backdrop heading into the 3 o'clock hour. It is XL Primetime Rebound Rehab. If you come out of the 4th of July weekend a little, I don't know, you have sports injury at the beach, you a little wounded and suffering from some pain, make sure you check out Rebound Rehab. They will help you with their team of physical therapists, all trained to get you back in the game. Check out reboundrehab.com.
Buckle up and grab the wheel.
I'm dreaming right now.
It's a Sunday street race in the city of Chicago.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Powered by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. From the station with the most horsepower, 1010XL.
Hey, poker players, Christmas in July is back at Best Bet, along with daily high hand promotions. This month, get ready to cash in on over $700,000 in high hands at all Best Bet locations. And ride the waves into Best Bet St. Augustine for chances to ride away on a Yamaha Wave Runner. From table games to tournaments, Best Bet has a spot for everyone. Visit BestBetJax.com. That's BestBetJax.com for all the exciting details.
Got a clogged drain that just won't quit? It's time to bring in the pros. Duck Duck Rooter.
I called Duck Duck Rooter for a clogged kitchen drain. They showed up fast and had it cleared in no time. No mess, no stress.
We've seen it all. Grease clogs, hairballs, mystery goo from the deep. Whatever's blocking your pipes, we'll get it flowing again. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule your drain cleaning service. That's 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the duck.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, Jacksonville, Hicken here. I've been around the block or two, and Checkmate Coatings is who I'd call for my own place. They're my new MVP for stunning, long-lasting floors.
Brendan here with Checkmate Coatings. No massive overhead means top prices on top-quality pool decks, driveways, garages, and patios, too.
Visit CheckmateCoatings.com today. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 3:20 for the latest in sports injuries. From all the big names in the game, who's MIA, who's coming back from injury. Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 3:20.
Mia here, and I love my custom closet from Closets by Design. With summer in full swing, having my warm weather wardrobe front and center is a game changer. No more digging for the right outfit on a hot day. If your home needs a summer refresh, whether that be a closet, a garage, or a pantry, schedule a free in-home consultation with Closets by Design. And the offer has been extended, folks. Receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off. And free installation on any order of $750 or more. Visit closetsbydesign.com.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast, but Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Zero Res. Man, I love the cleaning freaks. This week only, we salute the 4th. Zero Res offering 25% off all services. That's right, a 4th off for the 4th through the end of this week. So book it now, man. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Kuhn Flowers. On Wednesday night, the Jumbo Shrimp fell victim to a Charlotte Knights walk-off, suffering a 4-3 loss up in North Carolina. Despite dropping last night's game, the bats were hot for the Shrimp with solo home runs from Grand Palsy, Troy Johnston, and Jacob Marcy. They're back to work for Game 3 at 6:05 tonight for their game in Charlotte. They'll continue the series here in Jacksonville starting tomorrow at VyStar Ballpark for a 4th of July celebration at 7:05 with fireworks. Then on Saturday, the first 2,000 fans at the stadium will receive a Nolan Ryan bobblehead for first pitch at 6:35 before closing out the series on Sunday with dogs welcome at the ballpark for Canines and Crustaceans night to close out the series. Declan Cronin gets the start for the Shrimp tonight with a 1-0 record and 2.65 ERA. It's 88 degrees at 3:02. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
So good. Salute to Ray.
The genius of Ray Charles.
That doesn't put you in a patriotic mood. If I could come back in another life, just bring me back as Ray. Unbelievable talent. Could sing, could sing, could sing. And so we'll get a little more patriotic music for the fans out there before the day is done. I'm sure there's going to be a patriotic film that you may watch at some point over the 4th of July. You can definitely let us know. 641-1010, hit the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. I was just talking to the Max just a second ago about the weather, and we were hearing the thunder a little bit, looking outside. My plans are this afternoon as we speak, there's some that are heading from Duval to St. John's, okay? They're heading to downtown so they can take in the fireworks tomorrow night at in the Og. And as a matter of fact, the Witch Doctor, the 210 Painter, the Grassy Knoll, they have got their boat right now headed to when you go over the Bridge of Lions, there's a little hotel there and a little marina set up. And then you got the Candlelight Lounge behind them. Anyway, they're going to anchor right there, tie up, and they're going to watch the fireworks. And so I hope the weather's good for them and everybody else. If anyone's coming down, but they're ready to sit on the water and watch the fireworks. I hope this weather just give us a little sunshine. Forget about the rain.
Well, you said you're going to be on the boat later, right?
Yeah, that's what.
Well, speaking, just say it. Hey, listen, I want clear skies when I get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Say it.
Yeah, I want some sunshine.
There you go. It's done.
And we will get it. We will get it. By the way, we did ask fans whether or not they are into the fireworks, and one of our XL primetimers shot us a receipt. 4 Benjamins they laid out for their firework setup tomorrow night. They got the Wolf Pack, they got the Phantom Tank, they got some parachutes, they got some smoke balls, they got all kinds of stuff, and they are ready.
Oh, they serious, bro.
Oh, they ain't playing.
4 Benjamins?
Yeah. And they shot us the receipt. So that is just, and it says, it's just, it cracks me up. He said he's a premium member where he's buying them at. Not sure if the wife appreciates that or not. Oh, that's just great. All right, so let us know what you do have going. One of our other dudes says, right now, I'm seasoning the Blackstone, brand new Blackstone flat top grill to get ready for tomorrow. Many beers, burgers, and dogs will be consumed tomorrow. Happy 4th, fellas, says Desmond. So thank you, bro. We appreciate it. You guys let us know what you do have cooking or what you have coming up tomorrow over the weekend when you definitely can enjoy a long extra holiday weekend with Friday being the 4th and then Saturday and Sunday where you can just chill. You can go to the beach?
No.
No?
No. Not on the 4th of July.
Pass on that?
Bro, you know how packed it's going to be. You're not going to get a parking space.
It is going to be packed. It is going to be.
And even the valet line is going to be long.
Yeah, it'll be a little nuts.
Yeah, it'll be a little nuts.
But I'm sure you might post up at one of those watering holes around.
Of course, yeah.
You could do that.
That's more my speed, bro.
Yeah.
That's my sanctuary.
Yeah, exactly. All right, head on down there and enjoy it. That's for sure. We will be at Sunset Grill a little bit later on. That's for sure. And then getting ready for the 4th tomorrow. So you guys let us know what you're thinking as far as what's coming up. All right, so just to follow real quick what Donovin Darius said and what both you guys certainly understand and know, the coming together. And what he's saying is 100% true. And what you're saying is true, that turning over this roster, there's going to be a lot of energy that's coming into the building. There's going to be a lot of expectations that come along with this new coaching staff. And there's going to be a lot of expectations on Trevor Lawrence entering his 5th year. There's a lot of guys that need to ball out this year for this football team to get where they need to get going. And they need to continue it, Leon, on a regular basis.
Well, listen, there has to be established trust amongst all the guys on the team, especially new guys that are coming into the Jaguar organization. The only way you establish that kind of trust is work. You got to put in the work. I can't trust you if you're not putting in the work on the field, in the meeting room, in the weight room, taking care of your body, all that kind of stuff. Right. So that's what you got to establish first. You got to establish trust. You got to establish, and that's what bit Doug Peterson in the rear end last year.
Yeah,
he trusted those guys to be professionals. He didn't stay on them. I think this coaching staff is doing more. Yeah, you're going to treat them like professionals, but you're going to stay on them because that was our downfall last year. You know, Doug gave them leverage. Hey, take minicamp off. Take these days off. You can't do that because they abused it. So now, if I'm hoping Liam Cohen, like he called out Anton Harrison, he said, well, he's good when he wants to be.
No, that was a major statement.
That was a shot. That was a direct shot at him. He's saying that he's not consistent enough for me to trust him to do the right things all the time. So now I got to lay this on him. And you got to call them to the carpet.
Yeah.
If you ain't getting the job done, call them to the carpet.
I don't need to have a tyrant. It doesn't necessarily need to be the taskmaster that we always describe Tom Coughlin as, because Andy Reid is as chill as they come.
He is.
Yet the product's the product. And somebody brought up Tony Dungy the other day because he was laid back as well, but he got results. And so I believe more than anything else, it's the organization. Let's make this the 10-10 take, RJ, if you don't mind, because that's really, it doesn't matter what the personality is as long as the results are there.
Now, Josie's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmaster since 68.
We're asking a lot of the prime timers what they're cooking, but know this. Sonny's Barbecue is waiting for you if you just can't knock out a great rack of ribs. Just drop on by there, pick some up as you're heading into finishing up your day-to-day. Order up a rack of ribs, couple chickens, whatever it might be, and then you'll have it all ready to go for the 4th of July tomorrow. Just check out Sonny's all over the First Coast. And so the recipe, it can come in so many different forms or fashions, and it could be a tyrant that right now will not accept anything other than perfection, or it could be the guy that says, you know what, I'm going to give you the plan like you're describing with Doug Peterson, but I'm going to push you to succeed in that plan. It cannot be a laid-back coach that doesn't ensure you get the job done. Andy Reid looks like cheeseburgers and a 4th of July lounge chair. He does. That's what he looks like. But guess what? He gets the most out of his players, and he's an organizational freak, which means he never stops looking at the game plan, never stops trying to come up with a new wrinkle, and he makes sure that everybody understands what they got to do. That's the 10-10 take. And you know it as well as I do, Leon, that it doesn't matter as long as inside that building, everyone is going step for step.
You got to know your role. You got to know your role, stay in your lane as a player. Don't try to do too much. Do your job effectively at the highest level, whatever that may be. And sometimes you have to. Sometimes coaches got to push guys to get them to achieve those. That's what TC was.
Yeah,
TC was. He stayed on guys because he saw the potential they had that they weren't playing up to it. That's why he called me to the carpet. He called me to the carpet. I needed it. Quite.
I don't
frankly.
mind it at all.
No. Sometimes the truth. Sometimes a lot of these players just need the truth serum.
Yeah.
Just coddling and rock-a-buying them, pacifying them. They don't respond well to that. Sometimes you just got to tell a player the truth, straight up and down. You're not getting it done. You're not playing to your potential. You're not playing with, and that's why I keep bringing up Anton Harrison because he was wildly inconsistent last year as a player after a phenomenal rookie year. Except he got baptized by Chris Jones. But who doesn't get baptized by Chris Jones? Yeah. But other than that, he was good. He's got to get back to playing with. If not, guess what? You may be on the bench because you got depth now. We got guys at different positions that either going to motivate you to play better, or you'll be sitting on the pine while they're playing.
I'm not prepared to say right now.
No, me neither.
That someone can take his job that's on this roster. I'm not. I
not
haven't
OTAs.
seen that.
No.
Yeah,
I mean,
you saw a little bit of it too. Once they get to what they want to do, which is gap blocking as opposed to zone blocking, we're going to find out who's real, who's not. Pads on when it counts. We're going to find out who can win these jobs. But I hope at the very least he walked off to the next 5 weeks thinking my job's at risk.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, Joe, about gap blocking. You can't fake toughness in black.
See, that's what I love.
You can't fake it. You cannot fake. You cannot fake tough when you gap blocking because it forces you to double team. It forces you to pull and trap. It forces you to have man on man, big man. If my man don't win the play, I win. It's man on man. What I'm saying is man on man.
Right.
You're going to have a lot of individual blockings that you've got to dominate. You've got to win at.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of combination blocks and stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of pulling and all that kind of stuff. So you can't fake toughness if you're going to get, because that's what we did in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
When we did in Pittsburgh, it was a lot of traps, counters, tall sweeps.
All based on gap blocking.
All on gap blocks.
I want to see that in the worst way because we all agree this team has lacked toughness and this team has lacked the ability to have a consistent run game that can help Trevor if it ever gets going. And it has not consistently been there. You can't count on it. You could call a play with what you're talking about when you were gap blocking back in Pittsburgh, and you knew you could count on it. And now this one is an unknown, a coin flip, a maybe. let's just try it one more time and see what happens kind of crap. That cannot be the case going forward.
But here's the thing. This is why I was able to accelerate my game when I left Pittsburgh and came to Jacksonville. Because when we came to Jacksonville, we ran zone. Mm-hmm. We ran zone play. But you still had we ran zone with the Jaguars last year, but they weren't physical with it. They most of the time they're trying to overreach guys. The idea is not to overreach. The idea is to pick an attack angle, step fast as you can, use your hands, your hips, and roll and come off on the second level. Right. They weren't doing that. They were getting pushed back. They were overreaching, letting guys penetrate, all that kind of stuff. I mean, you could still be physical with zone blocking.
Right.
But this team apparently couldn't do it last year.
No, because when you look at the numbers and you look at the increase in yards per game with what Tampa was able to do from Dave Canales calling plays, which was 2 years ago, and he got a job off of that. He got that Carolina head coach job with the job he did running the Bucs offense and with Baker improving. And then last year, Liam ramped things up even more with their run game and made Baker even better. And so those things have to happen, and that run game's got to be there. And I don't know whether Chuma Doga or Fred Johnson or any of these guys are going to be the guys to push an Anton or a Walker, but I'm hoping that out of the four, you get two good ones.
Well, my hope is that Stingley is the leader because he was brought in from Tampa, knows the systems, aware of the call.
Robert Hainsey.
I'm sorry. Hainsey is the leader because he's the centerpiece. He's the quarterback of the offensive line. So in the offseason, he's the pivotal point of the makeup of the offensive line.
Yeah.
So he's got to be the leader. By default, he has to be the leader. He knows the system. He knows the calls. He knows what the expectations are. So he's got to galvanize these guys because you're going to have so many different personalities that haven't worked together.
Yeah.
It's so important that the cohesiveness of the offensive line is intact before the season starts.
I do hope Patrick McCary says, look, I've been in good lineman rooms that have succeeded running the football. I blocked for Lamar Jackson. I blocked for Derrick Henry. Let's all get this thing working together and pulling in the same direction and see what happens. All right, we mentioned food. We mentioned fireworks. We mentioned movies. One of our dudes, 210 Steve, he says, hey, man, when RJ played that song, what did you say?
The Genius of Laurie Charles.
Oh, yeah. And it reminded people of Sandlot. Sandlot, one of the great movies to watch.
Great movie. Saw it last week. It was awesome.
And you can watch that one this weekend. He said also be watching fireworks on the new boat and definitely looking forward to the 4th of July. So good stuff. You guys keep letting us know what you're doing, what you're watching, what you're thinking about heading into the 4th of July weekend. We got to get back to the best player with each jersey number. Who would be the best number 7 in the game right now if it's not Brian Thomas? We'll at least tell you who they said coming up on XL Primetime.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
He's got room to run. 10, 5, Brunel leaps. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
This is the home of your team. 1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be a 7-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit NimnickChevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right. Where do you go? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
The playoff-bound Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are in full swing at the newly renovated VyStar Ballpark. Your home for affordable family fun. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game, and kids round the bases after Sunday games. Log on to jackshrimp.com for tickets and details. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
Big Chief Tire is always looking for ways to better serve the Jacksonville community we call home. Frank Frangie here. Starting Monday, June 16th, they're opening their 6th shop location in Mandarin, providing more Jacksonville residents with a locally owned auto repair business they can trust. Visit the new shop on San Jose Boulevard today for all your vehicle needs, including brake repair, new tires, and more. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment today.
Imagine a place where the sun is always shining, the drinks are ice cold, and the food is bursting with flavor. Welcome to Hurricane Grill and Wings, where locals and visitors alike gather to weather this storm we call life. And you can escape here anytime you like. Today's forecast, hot, crispy wings with a 100% chance of frothy beers. Later, we're predicting big burgers and seafood tacos moving in. Escape the ordinary. HurricaneWings.com.
Like to learn how to fly an airplane? Well, you're not alone. High Flying Jacko here, inviting you to listen Sunday morning. We'll start your aviation career with a 60-minute ride on the airwaves of 1010XL. The High Flying Show, Sunday at 9 on 1010XL.
Quality work is sometimes hard to come by these days, and if you want quality and a fence that'll last, make the call to Duval. Duval Fence, that is, a good Jacksonville company with good Jacksonville people committed to quality service. If you need a fence for your home or a business, anything, just call Duval Fence at 260-4747. Give them an idea of what you're looking for, and they'll take care of the rest. Property fence, privacy fence, pool, or pets. Make sure you call Duval Fence today.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso spine and joint pain specialists. Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World,
simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Takes a while to get going, but you can just keep it going underneath us, RJ, because Leon was cracking himself up because we were going back to the Rocky Room.
Oh, yeah. This is Rocky IV when Apollo Creed died,
But when
right?
he gets all, when JB gets all dressed up and everything.
Oh, yeah, James Brown, yeah. All I remember about Rocky IV was the trailer, throw in the damn towel. Classic.
We was going through all the Rocky movies.
Huh?
So we were going through all the Rocky movies.
Oh, yeah. My favorite is 3, though. Mr. T was a mess. I love Mr. T.
Hey, woman! Hey, woman!
My favorite is, of course, right from the jump. Women weaken legs.
Oh, yeah. What was the manager's name? What was the manager's name again?
Well, he was, it was Burgess Meredith, but he played Mickey.
Mickey, yeah.
And then Paulie, the cousin, he was also sitting ringside. I don't know if he was the cut man or not, but Mick was the trainer.
Oh, yeah, Mickey, Rocky 3 say, he's going to kill your dad, Rock. He's going to kill your dad. I'm like, God,
Oh. All right, so we're just talking about America. What kind of movie you might be watching, be it Sandlot, maybe an old Rocky flick, whatever it might be. And then the original NFG chimes in, and he says, I'm embarrassed to show you all my firework receipts. Wow. I said, at least give you an idea of what you're shooting off, because there's got to be a serious set of mortars if he doesn't want to show us that.
I got to admit, when it comes to men and like fireworks, bro, we get kind of carried away.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that little boy in us, like, man, I got to try this. I got to try that one. I got to get this one right here.
And you just love seeing them, because before, like we said, you'd have to, like, there were going to be plenty of people downtown. They bring in the fireworks back to downtown Jacksonville. They're going to have them in downtown St. Augustine. They're going to have them in all these different places. And they're beautiful. They're awesome. But then whenever you're setting them off yourself and you're in your front yard or whatever, and it's just nonstop, because people are setting them off left and right in the neighborhoods and whatnot. And we'll be I think tonight. Somebody let me know in the AUG. I'm pretty sure they're going off tonight at the beach. They at least have done that the last handful of years. So let me know if that is still the plan. All right. So how about Charles? I'm thinking about calling Charles Food Network because he sent in what his menu is. He says, I'm serving cedar plank salmon and lobster tails on the Barbie. Japanese thin slice. It says cuke salad with raspberry balsamic vinaigrette. Key lime is the only appropriate dessert in the heat. Also, appetizer, roasted oysters steamed in the croaker sack. And he says, I'm sure Joe knows what a croaker sack is. You better believe it, because whenever we would have, you just take that croaker sack, you get them all, get your nice big, whatever it was, 10-gallon pot, get your burner underneath, you get that croaker sack full of oysters, drop them in there, and then you go get that 4x8 piece of plywood and some sawhorses in the backyard. Toss them all on that plywood. All that steam just starts rising.
Bro, what does he charge per plate? That sounds pretty good, bro. I would pay for that.
That's a pretty good plate that he's got lined up right there.
I'll pay for that plate.
That is for sure. All right, let's at least stay with America and baseball, RJ, and let's just do fire up the ukulele if you don't mind. This is America's pastime, the game of baseball.
Perfecto!
That's right. Let's go from the Atlantic to the Pacific. With a delicious Mexican lager. It's a little confusing when I say America and then I say Mexican lager, but you get it. Pacifico is an outstanding cerveza. So you can enjoy one of those any day of the week, including the 4th of July. Found in Baja, imported by surfers for those who live life anchors up. So Clayton Kershaw is just the 4th left-hander to reach 3,000 strikeouts. He's the 20th ever as a pitcher in Major League Baseball to reach 3,000 Ks. Who is he now in the select company with as the 4th left-hander to reach 3,000 strikeouts?
Bro, you don't know nothing about
I know
baseball.
that.
Bro. You want me to take a shot at it?
Yeah, just take a shot. Because I'll just be honest with you, I would have had a tough time.
Left-hander. What's the big dude? The 6'7" baseball.
That's all I wanted to hear from you. That is it.
Who's
the big unit.
The big unit.
Is his nickname. It's Randy Johnson.
I pulled that. You see that?
Okay, that's all I wanted, because I knew that I was going to get that out of you. And then if Rick Ballou sitting here or Frank Francis sitting here, they'd probably bark off the easily recite the other two. But I had forgotten, actually. Anyway, Steve Carlton. Okay,
I've heard of him.
A great back in the 70s, and CC Sabathia. So Sabathia was able to do it more recently.
That's right. He is left-handed.
Yeah,
I should have known CC.
Anybody else? He always had the bag of uni, whether he was in Cleveland or in New York. But Sabathia reached 3,000 strikeouts, and so now Kershaw's just the fourth left-hander, which is pretty dang good when you think about it. And among the total of 20, he is in a rare air select company. There's no doubt about it. I always tell Martin Buckley from Palm Beach Autographs, he's got one of the big frame jerseys of Clayton Kershaw. I'm gonna go buy that one now that he's got 3,000 strikeouts, because I'm gonna have to have that up in the sports lounge. That's for sure. But he's one of only 5. This is another one this is rare in the game of baseball anymore. But he's one of just 5 to reach 3,000 strikeouts with one team. And Walter Johnson, we're going way, way back. Bob Gibson in the 60s. Carlton, as we just mentioned, with the Phillies. And then John Smoltz with the Braves. And that's it. Those are the only ones that have done it. So that's rare air. All right, now I mentioned with the Jags, as we get back to talking a little football, they put together, it's kind of one of those offseason things, who's the best wearing that jersey number. And you can go to, if we went through this whole thing, it'd take us a while, but some of them are pretty obvious, but I'm at least going to go with the single digits here real quick. Jamar Chase, he wears the 1, okay?
That's a lot.
Yeah, you're not going to argue with that. Pat Surtain, he wears 2. Derwin James wears 3. He is now, as long as Derwin James is healthy, he is lethal at that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Dak Prescott, any disagreement with that?
Nah.
No, when healthy, he's that number 4 is his jersey. Jaden Daniels just took over number 5, and as a rookie, he deserves it.
Absolutely.
And how about the Reclamation Project number 6, Leon?
Wow, Baker.
Yeah.
I like Baker. You know what? I love a good comeback story.
I've become more of a fan of Baker.
Yeah, I do, man. I love a good comeback story. You're talking about a guy who's #1 pick overall. They hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Team after team, get with Tampa Bay, and it flourishes.
Yeah.
Love it.
And number 7, you might say to yourself, would it be C.J. Stroud? Would it be? And lo and behold, they put Bijan Robinson in there. And I'm thinking,
was this from these stats are from last year? 300 attempts, and it's not career, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, I believe that's combo, because I don't remember him going for that many yards.
Nah, me either.
To be honest with you.
So this must be career. That has to be career.
Yeah, and so he's right now rocking the 7. BTJ needs to take over that spot. There's no question about it. He needs to be.
He has opportunity. Yeah.
He can be the man when it comes to rocking the 7, and that includes taking over C.J. Stroud, who's 8.
8 is El Boogie.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that one.
Nah.
Who's 9?
Joe Burrow.
Nothing wrong with that one. You can't argue with it. And then Jordan Love, a little up and down when you go back over what he did last year. Still a decent number, and he's right now patrolling. You could have put Tyreek Hill in there wearing the 10.
You could have, you could have put him at 10.
But he just didn't have the great year that he was hoping for. 11.
Micah Parsons, no problem with that.
Yeah. 12
Puka.
And then the next 2 were Mike Evans and Amon-Ra. And then 15's 15.
Oh yeah, that's going to remain there for a very long time.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes
for the next decade, more than likely.
And then at 16, they've got Jared Goff. And let's face it, right now, we mentioned his completion percentage, his touchdowns to interception ratio, the way he has gone about his business up there in Detroit. Honestly, he is one of the more disrespected dudes.
He is.
In the National Football League. 17?
17. Josh, that's going to be there for a minute.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Next decade, no one's taking that number.
No.
18, no one's taking that number either. Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. And then there are a few that are up for grabs after that really don't jump out at me. Derrick Henry is 22. Christian McCaffrey's 23. Any of the other ones jumped at you that you thought,
Let me see. 26, Saquon Barkley. That's not going anywhere.
Studley.
Yes, absolutely, Studley. Let me see.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, number 28.
Yeah,
And then when you get into some of the bigs, like I'll give Alex Anzalone a shout out because he's 34, former Gator. That definitely has been a good player when healthy. That's for sure. But you get to some of the bigs, like I was looking to see who has 41, who has 44. They still put Alvin Kamara in with the jersey number 41, which you would like to see Josh Hines Allen take that back over. 44 is Marlon Humphrey. Good player, but
that's a good player.
And I think, like, whenever you're talking about trying to take over a jersey number, you're smart if you get one of the jersey numbers that a whole bunch of other guys don't have.
Yeah.
And then you can be on this list a little bit more often.
Mm-hmm.
But the big boys, there isn't a single Jacksonville Jaguar on this list. Who's the closest to it in your estimation, other than Brian Thomas Jr.?
You will hope Trayvon Walker or Josh Hines Allen.
Yeah.
Those guys. Well, what Travis Hunter's number is 12.
It's 12.
Any shot? Who's at 12? I missed 12.
It's going to take a minute for him, I would think, over the next couple of years, depending on what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
If he can move up and take that 12. Let's see here real quick.
12 is he could take Puka.
Oh yeah, he can from Puka Nacua.
Yeah, he can. That's feasible.
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
All right, I'd like to see that, but let's just get to a point where either BTJ or one of these guys is the guy you think of when you see that NFL jersey number. That's for sure. Rebound Rehab Thursday. You can log on reboundrehab.com, see their locations all over the city of Jacksonville, ready to take care of you. Now, they opened up 4 new locations over the last year, which means they're growing. They want to be close to you. And like I said, great success stories, including me, including Jimmy Mack, who brought it up last night that he's loving what he's been doing at their Jacksonville Beach location. So you can find them all over the city. Log on reboundrehab.com.
My think tank now has a little something in the pipeline. It's an idea we like to call
1010XL.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione Law.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnik Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnik's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnik. For 3 generations, Nimnik has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnikBuickGMC.com today to learn more, or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
You wouldn't drive your car 50,000 miles without an oil change, so why are you ignoring your septic tank? Septic tanks need to be pumped every 3 to 5 years. Call 904-862-6769 to schedule your septic pump out with the pros at Duck Duck Rooter.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dan Hicken with a game changer. I've tested the field, and Checkmate Coatings is my new go-to for durable, jaw-dropping floor coatings. Better play, better results.
I'm Brendan from Checkmate Coatings. Our precision coatings make your floors the MVP of any space.
Slam dunk your floors at checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 3rd, 1987, Darryl Strawberry threatened his teammate for criticizing his play. Darryl Strawberry is now an ordained minister.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. I've heard people selling diamonds saying they have high-quality diamonds at rock-bottom prices. Can that happen?
Frank, that'd be like a Mercedes dealer saying they sold at the same price as a Yugo. That just doesn't happen in any industry, and people who believe it are always the ones looking for something too good to be true, and they normally find out later it was. In diamonds, when you talk about higher quality diamonds with credible diamond grading reports from GIA, AGS, or Forevermark, the prices are higher, but so is the quality and value. Now, for a customer to understand that, they have to try to learn things like going to the internet, but they're going to get confused because they don't have an expert to ask questions to. The best way to get answers is to come in one of our stores and ask one of our professionals what those questions are and have them explain real diamonds to you. The result will be you'll understand more about a diamond's quality, price, and value by coming in.
Underwood Jewelers in San Marco, in Avondale, and at the shops of Ponte Vedra.
How likely is it to live to be 100 years old? The answer coming up.
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
In the United States, about 5% of women live to be 100, but only 1.8% of men.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Mia here, and I love my custom closet from Closets by Design. With summer in full swing, having my warm weather wardrobe front and center is a game changer. No more digging for the right outfit on a hot day. If your home needs a summer refresh, whether that be a closet, a garage, or a pantry, schedule a free in-home consultation with Closets by Design. And the offer has been extended, folks. Receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off. And free installation on any order of $750 or more. Visit closetsbydesign.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph has branched off from on-road to off-road. Give us the latest on what they've got.
They've got the 250 and the 450. Rick Carmichael designed these bikes himself, and they are bad to the bone.
So you're talking about a really cool effect from a bike off-road that Triumph had on-road forever.
It is, and it's out there winning races, and it is fun to ride.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville, their showroom on Atlantic near Regency, or online on their Facebook page.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit bowdeneye.com for a free screening. Bowden Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Are you ready to play this summer? At the First Coast YMCA, we're committed to being your home for health and wellness and a place for friendly competition with team sports for adults and for kids. Basketball, volleyball, pickleball, flag football, soccer. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Discover all the benefits of YMCA membership and find your fun this summer at the Y. Registration for team sports and summer camps is open now. Visit fcymca.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovin Air, Electric, and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, my takeaway is that we had Double D early on the show, and I asked Double D about the overhaul of new players on the team, how they're going to collectively become as one. And the last time I remember this much overhaul was when I came here in '96, and we started slow. We knew we had talent, and somehow we fought our way through and made the playoffs, and everybody knows with the AFC Championship game. So I'm going to tell Jaguar fans, now I hope 3-7 slow is not going to happen to us in this season. Don't want that. But it may take a little time for this team to gel, you know. I mean, I know it might take a little bit of time for, once you get the roster together, this team to gel, this team to trust one another, believe in one another, that kind of stuff. So if they start a little slow, when I say slow, I'm saying 2-3.
Okay.
2 and 3 slow.
Hovering around 500.
Yeah, hovering around, don't be frustrated about it. Hopefully in the back end of the season, they get their stuff together and we can make a little run.
Yeah, I think like when you go compare now to then, you at the very least had a first-time NFL head coach, but you had a head coach at the very least in Tom Coughlin that had succeeded in college.
Yeah.
Liam Cohen's never been a head coach in college or in pro. And so you wonder also if it is a little clunky to start and there's some doubters out there that are chirping and whatnot, how he handles it. Yeah. And then how, like you said, guys that are going to face kind of the music are, who are we? What are we going to do? How willing are we to reach a little further to get a little bit more out of it and become the leaders of this football team?
Everybody's going to have to dig deep, bro. Everyone. I mean, everybody's going to have to exert maximum effort for this team.
Yeah.
Whatever you think you've done is not enough. Okay? That's apparent because last year You're 4-13. So whatever you think you've done, you haven't done enough. If that means more film. That means extra reps after practice. If that means extra weights. If that means, whatever it needs, extra recovery, all that kind of studying your playbook a little bit more, studying your opponents, whatever it is, man. Just sacrifice.
That's what it's going to take.
You got to sacrifice. And I always did this in the offseason. I always said, don't let you be the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't let you be the problem.
And I hope that when this is all said and done, I hope that we do find out who the leaders are, that you can ultimately get to where you don't question, you don't wonder, you don't ask, 16 is bona fide at the top, making guys accountable. Lamar Jackson comes out, I guess it was yesterday or whatever, the last couple of days. It was an NFL headline this morning that Lamar has basically said, hey, I lead by example. I'm quiet. I'm not loud. He goes, but now I'm going to start talking to guys. I'm going to start. And Lamar's been in this league for a little bit of time too. And he's now just saying this, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, listen, we had Coach Ingram on here the other day, and I was kind of that same guy. I get quiet. I used to lead by example. I thought my play spoke volumes, the way I practiced, the way I conducted myself in the weight room, and all that kind of stuff in my play. Was kind of. But when I felt it necessary to get on people, which I rarely did, I did.
Yeah,
because I earned those stripes. I absolutely earned those stripes. It was rare, but it was times where I had to be vocal about something that I didn't like or I didn't appreciate, that kind of stuff.
Well,
when we losing, no one appreciates. First of all, I hate losing. Okay, hate losing. Yeah. So I despised it. So I'm grateful that I had a career where I never missed the playoffs.
And you did whatever it would take.
Yes, absolutely.
Make sure you didn't miss the playoffs.
Absolutely.
All right, let's make this a little PSA. Like going into tomorrow, into tonight, the 4th of July, a little PSA, which I think both you and I can share in. Dr. George Barry, shot us a picture of what it looks like if things go bad with fireworks. So just take it seriously. Make sure that whatever you're doing, that you just are being smart about it, because it can go bad in a hurry. So one of these dudes, he says, they moved from Atlanta back in 2017 here to Duval. He said they were making cake. They worked hard. They played harder. They grew up at the beaches. They went out and spent a bunch of money on fireworks. They take about $700, $800 each on fireworks, half dozen packs of sparklers, firecrackers, bottle rockets for the kids. The rest were mortars. He said they celebrated a little too hard. Long story short, mortars ended up becoming hand grenades, and we were playing war in the front yard. Okay. You cannot do that, people. And they end up saying exhaust pipes became launch tubes. It's amazing we didn't blow anything up for real, and that we still have all of our fingers. Neighbors ended up calling the cops. They gave us a slap on the wrist and told us to knock it off. All right. So
was alcohol involved?
Yeah.
Had to be.
I'm just guessing, but just make sure that you take care of yourself. Listen, I'm all about the mortars. I love them, but just make sure that you are safe. Okay, like I said,
be responsible.
I like dropping them in the chute and then just letting them take off. One dude in Callahan spent $260 on fireworks. Still will not compete with all the other stuff going off. So listen, I think as long as you get a handful that you like and have a little fun with it, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. The jersey number, texter says, you could argue Jalen Hurts over Jamar Chase for that number 1 jersey. That's a good point. Jalen Hurts, at the very least, has arrived.
Yeah.
Jamar's
right.
still Jamar.
Jamar's still Jamar.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Can you say that Jalen Hurts he's not even the best quarterback in the NFL? Patrick Mahomes. He's got the Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
But would you take Jalen Hurts over Patrick Mahomes?
No.
Okay.
No. And there's very
Jamar
few,
Chase. Would you take Jamar Chase?
Yeah, there's very few receivers you would. Yeah.
That part.
Right. And so that does kind of end the argument. But just the fact that at the very least now Jalen Hurts is in the conversation.
Oh yeah.
Because of what he has been able to do.
Yeah.
And he's playing the quarterback position differently than what we have seen others. And believe me, the Hurt spurt or the tush push or however you want to call it, I don't like it. I don't think it should be legal, but it's real. And I don't like the fact that you're seeing a guy like Jalen supplant Shady McCoy as the all-time rushing touchdown leader in Philadelphia because all they do is just set him up for success. He can't fail with that play, basically. But anyway, he's proven a lot of people wrong.
Well, it lets you know it's an offensive league. I mean, because the defense used to do that back in my day, where they have defensive tackles and like extra point field goal, right?
Yeah.
They have defensive tackles, and then they put linebackers behind them, and the linebackers will push them through the pile to try to block the field goals. But it's an offensive league, man. They're going to protect the offense.
They will. Yeah. And I thought they were going to knock that deal down this year, and they didn't. And I understand the one guy who had the swing vote to keep the tush push alive, spur alive, is this man right here.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
I don't want to bury Hayes Carline.
I got Jalen Hurts in a dynasty league. That tush push needs to stay in play. I need those rushing touchdowns. I mean, come on. But yeah, how about that?
I'm not crazy about the rule.
I would have gotten rid of it.
I would have gotten rid of it.
You shouldn't in football. To me, a basic tenet of football is you shouldn't be able to assist a runner down the field.
It is pretty simple.
And they had that rule on the books until about 2007, and then officiating the officials complained to the league, the competition committee, that they couldn't see it, that it was hard for them to determine it, and so they took it off the books, and now it is led to this. So I'd have no problem. I mean, getting rid of. It's not just getting rid of the tush push, and that's why this thing failed. If they'd approached it with, we're going to just go back to the rule as it was 15 years ago, I think it would have gotten through. But because it was written in a way that clearly was going after one team, that's why I think ultimately it failed. But they will get rid of this. I would anticipate in a year. They kind of learned. Remember, they tabled it, amended it, and then... So I think what they learned there is we need to make it broader and not look like it's really trying to punish one team. So I still think this will be the last football season that you see it.
Yeah, probably. So Sirianni, just work your fanny off.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts.
Well, the Jaguars should have a webinar on how to stop it because we've stopped it twice.
It was about the only thing that went right, but they were able to do that.
All right, what's cooking before the 4th
Well, happy 4th, to you gentlemen and everybody out there. We're going to have a fun Frangie show. Again, Frank on vacation. He'll be back Monday, so it'll be me, Hacker, and JJ. And we've got a lot of cool stuff. Mike Fleming's going to join us, the Brigadier General that joins us throughout the year to talk about the importance of veterans. And he's going to talk to us about resources that are available for veterans. So that'll be really good stuff that we get from Mike. Absolutely. So we'll do that at 4:20. Lee Smith, the executive director of the Players Championship, will join us at 4:40 to talk all things golf. And we're going to do something fun at 5 o'clock. The three of us are going to rank the greatest active American athletes to celebrate the 4th of July. The 10 greatest active American athletes right now. You don't have to be at like your peak, but if you are an active athlete still competing, we're going to rank you 1 through 10. So. Yeah, Shohei is not eligible. He'd be high on the list if he were to defect over.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it should be a lot of fun coming up on the Frangie Show.
All right, sounds good.
Thank
Hayes,
you
happy
guys.
4th to you and your
Happy
family. Big Sirs, enjoy the 4th tomorrow. What are you going to do tomorrow, by the way?
I'm
talking about the start. What are you going to do to start?
I'm going to sleep in all day.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And invariably, you think you might be woken up.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
All right. Well, hopefully have a good 4th.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell everybody, I'll echo what one of our texters said. I've always said this, TLD, I give her beer, water, beer. Those are the instructions. And then every once in a while, water, water, beer. Well, he said bottle of water after 2, reasonable pace, and I'm glad he pointed it out. Hydrate, people. Make sure you're good, that you have a good time. Beach, buzz, barbecue, whatever it might be. Thanks to Rebound Rehab. Thanks to all of y'all. Celebrate Independence Day, our nation's birthday tomorrow. RJ, Big Sirs, Joe C, you got the Frangie Show coming up.
And I won't forget the men who died, who gave